So for week 7, we have some very, very interesting matchups going on. Let's take a look. So here we've got Casey at 4-2 going against yours truly for the week. Let's take a look at some of these matchups here. And so right now, the ESPN projections are showing myself as being favored at 135 points, with Casey at 116 points. So let's take a look. The Big Ben injury to my team didn't really have much of an impact because I had Matt Ryan on the bench, and Matt Ryan's been going on a tear. So essentially, it's going to be Matt Ryan versus Stafford. Stafford's been putting up points. They're going up against Washington's defense, so that's going to be a wash. In terms of the running back situation, Lamar Miller has been doing very, very well, so he should outscore Giovanni Bernard. But again, Giovanni Bernard's going up against a very weak Cleveland defense. James White has emerged for the Patriots since Tom Brady's come back, so versus Jerick McKinnon, that should be a wash as well. Brandon Cooks had a monster game for New Orleans last week. We should probably temper those expectations. Pierre Garcon with Jordan Reed out has been doing very, very well. So that should be a wash there. Antonio Brown versus AJ Green. Casey should have the advantage there with the injury to Ben Roethlisberger. But we all know that Antonio Brown suffers when that happens. Again, this is going to be a very, very close and tight matchup, as they all have been for me personally. Let's take a look at another matchup. So we've got Matthew Aditra versus Joe Lacona. Joe Lacona desperately needs to win at 2-4, going against the 501 team. Again, looks like their moves and matches have been working. They streamed a quarterback. Colin Kaepernick's going to start again for San Francisco. Let's see if they stick around with that quarterback. Tom Brady has had a resurgence, so that's really helped Joe's team. But the running back situation, very, very tight there for Matthew and Deidre. They've got DeMarco Murray, who's been on tear. Malcolm Gordon, who's been putting up points. Todd Gurley, who's been doing well as of late. Emmanuel Sanders has been the consistent receiver out of Denver. Then Amari Cooper has been doing very well, going as Carr goes along. And with the combo of Rob Gronkowski and Jimmy Graham, it's been a very, very solid team there. Let's see who they put in for their kicker situation. And, it should be a very, very solid performance from Matthew and Deidre again. Devontae Freeman going up against San Diego is going to have a good game. Marvin Jones should tear it up against Washington. Kenny Britt had an astonishing game last week, and T.Y. Hilton's been picking it up with Andrew Luck picking up his quarterback play. So that's been very good. Pitt has been a solid tight end. Allen Robinson in Jacksonville look to get back on track over at Oakland. So this should be a much tighter matchup. Projection-wise, they're showing Joe actually favored at 145 to Matthew and Deidre's 137. But again, they don't have a kicker plugged in, so this is going to be a wash matchup here. Take a look at, we've got Lex Swagger going up against Austin. Austin needing a W pretty badly here at 2-4, with Lex at 4-2. Let's take a look at what we got here. So we've got Smack Talk Skywalker, aka Lex, versus Austin. Derek Carr, Andrew Luck, they should wash each other out, although Carr's got a cakewalk matchup over at Jacksonville. Mark Ingram has been fairly consistent putting up the points there. Eddie Lacy's been hit and miss for Green Bay. Green Bay's offense has been sputtering as of late. Bilal Powell had a very, very tough matchup against the Arizona Cardinals this past week. They look to go against another tough run defense against Baltimore. Christine Michael's been very, very solid, so he should have a pretty good game against Arizona there. I think those running attacks are going to go up against each other. Jamal Charles continues to get better as he's come back into the league. So look for a monster game there, especially against New Orleans. Devontae Adams has been hit or miss with Green Bay's offense kind of sputtering. DeAndre Hopkins has gotten back on track as of late, but they're going against a very solid defense with Denver. Anquan Boldin has become a central passing attack target for Detroit. Look to him to emerge against Washington. Deshaun Jackson has also been hit or miss, but Greg Olsen's been solid. Willie Snead, again, this is going to be a very, very tight, a much more tightly contested matchup than we would be led to believe here. Projection-wise, right now, it's at 102 to 101 in favor of Austin. And so, again, ESPN projections show that this is going to be a very, very tightly contested matchup.
And then we've got Joaquin against Angie, another very, very, very tasty matchup. I might even say it might be the game of the week at a 4-2 record versus a 4-1-1 record.
Joaquin's very high off of his victory over G Money this past week. He looks to right the wrongs by finally playing Marcus Mariota when he should have been playing him the past couple of weeks there. So maybe he's learned from his mistakes, maybe he hasn't. But right now, initial projections are showing Angie favored at 136 to 127. We've got Mariota versus Kirk Cousins. So Mariota going up against Indiana in Indianapolis in a division rivalry. Mariota should continue to shine there as Indianapolis has absolutely no defense, or one of the worst defenses in the league. Same can be said for Washington versus Detroit. Detroit has pass rush problems, so both quarterbacks should fare very, very well. Spencer Ware has continued to get the bulk of the work for Kansas City at New Orleans, but we might see Jamal Charles kind of return to form. Darren Sproles has been hit or miss, but going up against a very, very tough Minnesota defense, it's going to be a tough test for Darren there. Le'Veon Bell is going to carry the load now that Ben Roethlisberger is out, so he's going to have a monster game. Terrence West continues to produce. We saw what Arizona did against the Jets this past week, so he should have a monster game. Looking at Crabtree, he had an off week last week, which means he'll probably have an on-target week this week. Fitzy's been performing fairly consistently. Brandon Marshall had a bad week this past week, but looks to get back on track with Geno Smith probably coming in at quarterback. Jordy Nelson will probably shine versus Chicago. Julian Edelman will finally get back on track versus Pittsburgh. Laundry is always good for a good 15 to 20 points. Kyle Rudolph has been very, very, very much on fire. Charles Clay is a good play. So again, we're looking at a very, very solid matchup here between two teams that both don't want to fall to each other.
So I look forward to seeing this matchup on Sunday.
And we've got the battle of 1 and 5 teams. So one of these 1 and 5 teams will actually become 2 and 5, and the other one will become 1 and 6. So it's a very interesting matchup here. We've got Evelyn versus Anita. So right now, currently slotted, Evelyn, I think is favored here. No, actually, Anita is favored, 121 to 111. There's going to be some roster adjustments that you'll probably see. Drew Brees is starting quarterback, is very, very solid for Evelyn. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been having a horrible time, so I'm gonna assume that Anita's gonna replace him. McCoy and Carlos Hyde have both been having great seasons. Fozzie Whitaker hasn't been doing anything. Jonathan Stewart came back, so he had the monster game. Duke Johnson Jr. Has been hit or miss for Cleveland. And Michael Thomas with New Orleans, has gotten some points, but didn't have the monster game that Brandon Cooks did. Looking at Jeffrey and Coleman, those are two power plays there. Odell Beckham Jr. said he was back this past week, so that looks good. John Brown hasn't been doing much, so you might want to look at that wide receiver slot. And then you got Tammy versus Ertz, both canceling each other out. So I suppose that there'll be some adjustments made before the end of the week. Currently, this is the way the rosters look, and again, it's a battle of 2 1-5 teams. One of you will go 2-5, and the other one will go 1-6. So put your all into this one. This is going to be maybe a season-changing game here. Last but not least, we've got Robert and the new guy. Robert desperately needs a win. He's looking at 2-4 right now. The new guy's at an even split at 3-3. Ralph also needs a win to keep pace in his playoff aspirations. Right now, it's showing Robert favored projection-wise at 132 points versus Ralph's 122 points. So here we've got Robert's got Andy Dalton slated in the starting spot going up against Cleveland. That should be a cakewalk matchup where Cincinnati's going to take out some aggression on the Cleveland Browns. Eli Manning's going up against a tougher than expected LA Rams defense. Right now you got Ryan Matthews in for Philadelphia. He's been solid. Latavius Murray, it's still questionable whether or not he's going to play, but if he does, he should be toting the rock. David Johnson's been phenomenal. He's had a fabulous season. Jordan Howard has been stepping it up for Chicago. Terrell Williams has been fairly consistent for the Chargers. Mike Evans is going to be seeing all the love now that it's confirmed that Vincent Jackson is pretty much out for the season. So that looks good. Julio Jones is always dependable, especially since last week he had a tough matchup against the Seahawks. This week he gets a cakewalk matchup against the Chargers. Jeremy Maclin should see some breathing room against New Orleans. Terrell Pryor, very good play versus Cincy. Cameron Meredith has stepped up for Chicago. Had 2 consecutive good weeks. Antonio Gates has been coming back into the limelight, but Hunter Henry has actually been getting more points. Stephon Diggs returns against Philadelphia. Shepard has been fairly consistent, but Odell Beckham got most of the love last week. And defensive-wise, Titans is probably a good play against Indy, and the Ravens going against the Jets is also a solid play as well. So this is going to be a very, very good matchup as well. So let's see how Week 7 shapes up. We'll be updating the league page, and we'll hope to see you here on Sunday. Last week was kind of a break. But it would be nice if everybody could show up for this Sunday coming up. Our doors will open at 10 o'clock, as always, and hopefully we can all have a good time partying and talking shit to each other. Take it easy. Good luck.